Peace and love. 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 Hey y'all. It's the Queen 7 coming up here to holler at y'all about what's real. Y'all, I ain't said that in so long. I feel like I'm getting back to myself. Hold on. Let's run that back. Peace and love. 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 Let's just marinate in there for a second. Peace and love, family. I am streaming on 2 phones. I got 2 phones. You feel me? And it's gonna take a minute for people to start stepping in on the live. Connection might be a little glitchy, but we're gonna work with what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and start speaking because I don't have time to be waiting on everybody to get off up in the chats. And if you missed the beginning of this video and you just follow me, especially on TikTok, you can go follow me on Facebook at 7 SEVIIN Kindred. 7 Kindred. Go follow me over there on Facebook so that you don't miss any of my lives. If you miss my live, because you know it's hard to go back and run it back on TikTok. So the full live will be on TikTok or it will be placed on YouTube if you missed the message. But y'all better get up in here because I have a beautiful message, y'all. And I am titling this, Open Your Heart and Get Back to Love. Okay? Listen. Open your heart. Okay, baby? Listen. If you tapped on this live, if it popped up on your FYP, it's for you. Okay? Don't try to skip. Don't try to slide. I'm talking to you. Open that little heart up, that big heart up, and get back to love. How many of y'all got a closed heart right now? How many of y'all think that you are operating out of your heart space and you really not? Open up that heart, baby, and get back to love. Okay? Listen. Don't shoot me. Take it to the Most High God, because, baby, this message was given to me today to get to y'all. All right? I'm just a messenger. All right? But anyway, let me get to the point. Before I start with this beautiful message that I got, I'm going to go ahead and get the ugly out the way. I just left the park and went for a little walk, right? I know it's Saturday. Most people are out on the town, getting ready to party, probably at barbecues, out, just on a date, doing what they do, as they should. It's Saturday. It's the Sabbath. You're supposed to be resting. You're supposed to be enjoying life, right? But for some apparent reason, I felt the need to go for a trail walk today. And so I was rushing out the house. And before I even rushed out the house, Spirit was on me about making a rose quartz bracelet. Okay. And that's what my message is going to be about. That's what's going to start it out. But before I get to that, when I was at this park walking, I noticed that there were, I guess we call them, black people lack the knowledge sometimes. We used to call them Indian women, but I think they Arab women, right? Anyway, these Arabian women, for some apparent reason, I don't know why I feel like they don't like black folk. I don't know if it's just me, but every time I get around these Arabian women, with the ones that wear the cloak, the crown, with the scarf on the head and they cover their whole body, them women right there. I ain't trying to be disrespectful to nobody, but let's be honest. They dress modestly, right, to cover their bodies and all this type of stuff. But my thing is the energy that I get off of these women be so disrespectful and nice, nasty. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I've been getting this for years. I can remember asking a lady what the bindu in her middle of her forehead meant. And I can remember her catching an attitude and, like as if I was supposed to know when I was just asking a simple question. So the older I get, the more mature and wiser I get, the more I realize that these people just don't like us. And why is that, right? And when people go out of their way to not like a certain person, it's for a reason. It ain't because you something wrong with you. It ain't because you a bad person. It ain't because you're ugly. It's something about you that makes you enviable. Makes people it makes their ass itch to see you for some apparent reason. And so as I was on this trail, these 2 women were walking, and mind you, we supposed to be on the medium, right? So you got the right side of the road. It's just like driving on the road. So I'm walking on the right side and they are taking over the entire walkway. And they see me coming and they didn't want to budge and move over and share the walkway. So guess what? I kept my head up high and I kept on walking straight. I'm not budging because I'm on the right side of the fucking road. So share the road. You get what I'm saying? So that takes me back to why they treat us the way they treat us. And as I was walking, I was like, God, if these people are dressed modestly, they supposed to be the chosen people. They supposed to be so, spiritual, intuitive, and all of this stuff. Why do they treat us so badly? And if you are in the hearts of these people, why do they act and operate the way that they act, right? So, at one point we looked at these people as they were higher on a higher pedestal than us. I don't know about y'all, but back in the day, before I became who I am, I thought that these people was on a, pedestal, or maybe we put them there. I don't know. But now I'm realizing that people are just fucking people. I don't care if they got a crown on their head. I don't care how much money they got in their bank account. You are still a human being, and everybody needs to be treated as such. And we need to look at Mother Earth as like a bedroom that we all got to share, right? You know how when you go to grandmama's house and everybody got to sleep in that one living room, she ain't got but, 2 bedrooms, and one of them hers and the other one she used for storage, and the rest of when the grandchildren come over, we all sleep in the living room on the floor and share a blanket, right? And that's where we are. Somebody don't want me speaking the truth, but it's all right because I'm going to speak it anyway, regardless. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can exit stage left. I promise you I will not lose no sleep and I won't miss you. But love is love. But at the end of the day, moral of the story is people don't like when you speak truth and they try to attack you when you do. But guess what? You got to keep pushing anyway. Because it's not about those 1 or 2 people who don't like what you're saying. It's about the masses that need to be broken through. And so at the end of the day, we share Mother Earth. And we all got to learn how to share her, especially with the black folk. And for some apparent reason, we black people have suffered at the hands of every other race. And y'all know why, but we just can't seem to figure it out. But now it dawned on me, it must be something amazing about us, which is why these people keep going out of their way to make you feel like you ain't shit, make you feel like you are the scum of the earth. And it's not for you to take their attitude or their energy and make yourself feel less than. That's their own problem. So as I was walking by these women, they didn't give no look of, hey, we're friendly, we're open, you can speak to us, welcoming or anything of that nature. And they never do. It doesn't matter what facility you go in, you can go in the store and see these women, and they literally give you this nice, nasty energy. And so it just dawned on me that these people are not as godly as you think. These people are not as modest as you think. These people don't have hearts as you think. You get what I'm saying? Just because they dress a certain way don't mean that they know God. Just because they act like they better than you or they got more money than you does not mean that they are better than you. A lot of these people who have earned their way up, have scammed their way up, stole from you, lied to you, swindled you, extorted you to get in these positions, which is why they look down upon you. But when they look at you, when they see that out of all the shit that they have done to bring you down as a people, especially people of color, and you still can walk with your head high, you can still walk with a smile on your face, you can still have faith in God, you can still trust, and nothing can just seem to tear you down. That shit just do something to people who went out of their way to destroy you. So it's something about you. What is it about you, people? What is it about you black folks that people can't stand? Because it's something amazing about you. You are strong, you're resilient, you're courageous, you keep persevering even when you ain't got shit. You might not have but a dime in your pocket, but you walking around looking like $1 million, and folks swear up and down you got $1 million, and they can't stand you because of that. Which leads me to my next message. I just had a knock on the door the other day from maintenance men, and they knocked on my window as I was asleep, and they was bamming in my window, and I know for a fact they did not knock at my door, because if they did, I would have heard them. I could sleep with my bedroom door wide open. And so I got up, they woke me up out of my sleep. Jolted me up out of my sleep. So now I get up and I'm like shaking, I'm trembling. So I open the door and I'm like, okay. And they like, well, we trying to come in. And I'm like, hold on. I didn't even hear you. My bad. I'm like literally being polite. And they being all nice and nasty. Well, we finna go to the office and talk to them. And then I'm like, okay, mind you, these ain't even Americans, okay? I don't know what the hell they is. I can't even call them Mexicans. And like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I know they are not of my race. And so my thing is you better be lucky ICE ain't came and got your ass yet while you over here being nice nasty to me, okay? At the end of the day, I could have been rude, but I did. So I'm waiting on them to come back. I'll leave the door cracked. I'll go to the bathroom to brush my teeth and wash my face because they were about to work on my bathroom. And I hear a bam in my window again. And I'm like, what in the world? They bamming at the window as if they can't break the window. That, mind you, I already got a broken window and they won't fix for some apparent reason. So I'm like, okay. I come to the door screaming. I'm like, what? The door is open. And when I open the door, why is my landlord coming to the breezeway like mad as hell at me? Like I wouldn't open the door. And I'm like, the door is open. You know, and he's like, well, calm down. And why you screaming? And I'm like, because these people are bamming at my window. They just, you know what I'm saying, woke me up out of my sleep. I'm still trying to wake up. And I'm trying to brush my teeth and wash my face. The door is wide open. Well. And I'm like, listen, well, can they come in? Yes, this is y'all property, baby. I don't own it. They are more than welcome to come in this house. Right? And so he's like, well, lower your voice. And, you know, talking to me as if I'm not an adult. And that's what pissed me off. Because mind you, I'm older than this person. But I'm still trying to be polite, but it was the energy in which they were bringing to me. And you got to be mindful. It's a natural human reflex to catch an attitude when people are disrespecting you. And so this is where we are as a people, black folk, especially. Y'all, a lot of people think that we are mean or we angry. We just ugly type of people. But no, it's because we have been mistreated. We have been jolted out of our sleep. We have been treated less than, like the scum of the earth. People just feel like they could talk to you like they fucking children and you're not supposed to have nothing to say or stand up for yourself. And so at the end of the day, I'm the type of person where I've been through a lot of shit in my life and I'm sick and tired of people talking to me crazy. I'm sick and tired of people because I'm nice. People think, oh, she an easy target. We can just disrespect her. And he made it out of his mouth, made it his business to say, well, we just never know what type of mood you gonna be in. You always have an attitude when we knock on the door. Did it ever dawn on you that the way you knock on my door, the way you approach me is disrespectful? And so I'm the type of person is that you get what you give. You get what I'm saying? If you come to me with holy water is what you're going to get. You come to me with hellfire, well, hellfire is what you're going to get. And that's my God-given birthright. I am entitled to, you know, have a feeling. I'm entitled to catch an attitude if I want to. I'm entitled to not like something if I don't like it. But at the end of the day, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So if you come to somebody, if you go to your grandmama's house, you're not going to walk in your grandmama's house and not speak. You're not going to walk in your mother's house and not speak. You're not going to walk in their house disrespecting them. You're not going to walk in their houses, you know, taking over. Just because you know, have a certain position does not mean you get to act a certain way. And a lot of our people, our black folks especially, have taken our positions out of context. And so I just felt like he was barging at me as if I was his child. And I ain't gonna lie, it aggravated the shit out of me. But I had to be respectful because, you know, I do have to live here. But at the same damn time, I understand what it feels like to not have nothing. And so I don't mind starting back from square one. And let's be real. People look at me on the outside and they assume that I have it all together. People look at me and think, oh, she got a car, she got a house, she got money. She must. But baby, I barely got $10 to my name right now as we speak. But people look at me and they judge the book by its cover because of how I keep myself together. I keep myself dressed. I keep myself taken care of because that's how I was taught. I grew up in poverty. I grew up with nothing. But that don't mean you got to look like and act like where you come from. And a lot of people, because they are struggling right now, heartbroken, stressed out, full of anxiety, full of PTSD, that they think that it gives them the right to walk around and hurt other people or bleed on other people or have a bad attitude or have bad energy. No, we're all in this together. We all live here. We're all suffering. All of our hearts are broken. We're all going through some shit. So don't just assume because you see me looking good that I got it good. No, that doesn't mean shit. I'm actually in here struggling. I probably didn't have nothing to eat last night. I probably ain't been loved on in a minute. I probably don't have no gas in my car. I probably don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I probably just don't know what's going to happen. So it's a reason why people are acting the way they're acting. It's a reason, it's a method to the madness. So if I catch an attitude, which me, I'm a sweetheart naturally at heart. And people just assume on the outside looking at me that I'm not. But that's because you don't take the time to actually get to know me. If you take the time to get to know me, then you be like, oh man, she's sweet as hell. Oh man, she down to earth. You feel what I'm saying? But we living in a world now where people just judge off the outside of you. And I just, you know, even with these Arab women that I just got through talking about, they may not be as mean and nasty as we think. It's just how they come off. You get what I'm saying? And I just feel like if we take the time to get to know them, they might be better off people. But they don't allow themselves to be open-hearted, which leads me to my message. Okay? I had to get the ugly out of the way to get to the good part. But anyway, I have this rose quartz bracelet, right? And if you know about gemstones, if you know, you know. Rose quartz deals with the heart, right? And I personally have taken a lot of heart blows from people that I love, family members, friends, lovers, just a lot in my life. And at the end of the day, I got this one fly that just keeps flying around me. And flies represent monitoring spirits, baby. It's a lot of monitoring spirits around me that just can't stand what the hell I talk about. But it is what it is. I'm still going to do what I got to do because it's my God-given mission to do it. And if you don't like me being a speaker, baby, by all means, exit stage. Look, you can block me. You can unfriend me. I will not lose no sleep. I promise you. But you don't have to hate me and disrespect me because I am in alignment for my assignment. Take it up with the Most High God. Okay? Back to my message. So, I had this bracelet that the angels was telling me that I needed to make. And I'm like, God, you know, why I gotta make that bracelet? I done made all kind of other bracelets. Why I can't just wear all the other bracelets that I got? But they weren't dealing with the heart, right? And so a lot of people don't believe in gemstones. Some people think that wearing gemstones and headdresses and copper things mean that you worship some other god. They think you don't believe in the higher power and all that blah, blah, blah bull crap. And that's another thing. People just put their belief systems and stipulations off on you, and that's because they lack the knowledge. But everybody's walk with God is not the same. So respect my walk with God, and I can respect yours, okay? You might be a churchgoer. You might be religious. I'm not a religious individual. I grew up religious, right? I know about the word. I know about God and all. Know about church and all that stuff. But I am the church. I learned that I could go off and become the church and pray with myself without a building or a bunch of people around me. So at the end of the day, I still have to find my way to worship and connect with God. And a lot of us in this world have taken a lot of heart blows. A lot of us have decided to stop living. A lot of us have closed our hearts off, me being one, because I have a big heart. And a lot of people have taken advantage of that, and they tried to use it against me, misuse me, mistreat me. And even as a child, I've dealt with a lot of blows when it came to my heart. And every time you turn around, there's a sword in my heart, and I have to take it out, And I'm sick and tired of doing that. So sometimes it's easy as a human being to put a cage or a wall around your heart, right? Because you think you're protecting yourself from, being hurt again, right? And that's really a trauma response. And so that's why I'm doing my video, is because I've been responding to trauma unconsciously just by not opening my heart. And so, and a lot of people, want to receive love, but they're not willing to give it. And so this is why I do what I do. And so the world lacks love, and I had to make this bracelet. And as I began to string the beads up, I was noticing how the holes in the beads was a little too small, and I couldn't get the needle to slip through. And a lot of people that don't understand jewelry making, I don't expect you to get this part, but it's a message to what I'm saying. So just stick around. I'm going to get to the point in a second. But as I was getting ready to string the beads up, I was noticing that the hole was a little too small to get the beads on. So, of course, natural human response, we begin to force stuff, right? So I'm forcing it to get through. So now I just got it on the needle. I hadn't even got it on the string yet. So I'm trying to get the beads to slide onto the string, but the needle kept getting stuck at the end of the bead because the hole was too small, and it broke my needle. So, okay, no problem. Slide the needle to the side, put the beads on another needle, try to do it again the same exact way. Broke another needle. Okay, all right. Now I'm getting a little frustrated. Maybe that needle was old. I ain't worried about it. Slide that to the side. I restring the beads again. Begin to do the same process. Broke another needle. 3 is a charm. Okay? Now at this point, I got an attitude because needles ain't free. All right? It take money to buy this stuff. And money I don't have right now, whether people believe it or not. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, well, damn it. And I can hear Spirit saying, well, you remember when you wore this bracelet years ago, and when it broke off, you never went back to refix it and restring it, because when you went back to restring it, you couldn't get the beads on the same way you can't get the beads on now. And I was like, damn, this is why these beads been sitting up in here in this box for a long time, because I was a little too lazy to pull out my tool, which is called a reamer, a bead reamer, which is like a small drill that you can take and you can drill the hole and make it bigger. But I can remember the time that I was getting ready to restring the beads, I was so sleepy and tired and lazy that I didn't want to pull out my reamer, because you can't just go in there and drill the beads dry. You will break your reamer and you will break the beads. And so you have to take a bowl of water and put your beads in there, and you got to put your reamer on there, and you got to drill the hole real nice and gentle, right? See, look, nobody want to look. The bug just hit me in the face, okay? Somebody bad about this message, but fuck you too, with love, okay? Anyway, the message still gonna go on, baby. Listen, I will not be distracted and I will not be moved. Understand? But anyway, so you can't just go off in that thing dry. It's like a vajayjay. You can't just go off in that thing unlubricated. You gotta lubricate that thing. You feel me? Somebody be doing it. Stay focused. So I went to go get my bowl of water. I got an attitude because I'm mad about my little 3 needles that broke. I got a couple more needles. I got 3 more left, but I could either go in that thing dry like I just did, or I could go in this kitchen and get this bowl of water and, you know, soak the beads and bring the beads. Just to make the hole bigger so that I can put them on the bead easy without tearing, because if it's tearing the needle, it's going to eventually tear the string. Mind you, I'm working with little material, right? And so at the end of the day, I'm like, God, I ain't got, you telling me to go to the park and go for a walk. I only got a certain amount of sunlight, and it's about to get ready to start raining. On top of that, this is going to take me a little okay, forget it. So I go in the kitchen, I get my water, I get my beads, I begin to ring the beads. I'm mad because I'm looking at the beads and I'm realizing how small the holes are. And I said, whoever created these holes need to be just slapped. They was mad when they was making these beads. They did not want nobody to reuse these beads or something. And so I began to ring the beads. And as I began to ring the beads, all I could hear Spirit was saying was, open your heart. And I was like, oh, this is what it is. My heart is not open enough. I might have a small hole, but it's not big enough to get anything through. And so that's why I had to go and re-hold the beads. And so I was like, dang, message. We got to open our hearts back up. If we want to receive love, we have to first open the hearts up. We are walking around with our hearts like this, and we're praying and we're asking for some things, but our hearts are so fist tight that God can't even get through. A lot of y'all are praying like this. You're praying like this, but God wants you to open up so that something can get through, right? And so that's when it dawned on me. I was like, dang, that's why that when that bracelet broke years ago, because this bracelet been broken. I'm the type of person where I recycle things. So when the bracelet broke, and I just put, you know, I tried to restring the beads, but the bead was so hard to re-bead, and I didn't have time to open the holes up. I just tossed them in a bucket somewhere and left them there. And never thought that I would have to come back to these same beads. Well, here I am now. Ain't no telling how long it's been. And now I had to come back to these beads. And I had to do what I had prevented to do. So basically, in other words, I had to do the work, right? So we can avoid and we can act like we don't, you know, we can push it under a rug all we want. We can sweep it away. We can act like it don't matter all we want, but we still would have to come back to that work and do it and face it, right? And look at me reaming those beads as like shadow work, because I didn't want to pull that drill out. I didn't want to go in there and get that bowl of water. But at the same time, as I began to take my time and ring the beads open, make a real hole for these beads, now I'm able to slide the beads onto the string easily without force. I don't have to worry about breaking any more needles. I can't talk right now, brother. I can't talk right now. I'm going to have to call you back. I'm going to have to call you back, brother. I'm on live. But at the end of the day, now I'm able to restring my beads with no problem. I'm not breaking the string. I'm not breaking any needles. And now I can get it on and put it on and go to the walk. So I get on my trail walk, and as I'm walking, I take my shoes off and I begin to ground. And I felt so good to walk in that grass. It felt like a pillow, so soft and just, oh my God, just God-given, just, oh my God. And if you know, you know about the grounding. Okay, I haven't been outside. I stay in the house. I'm a hermit. And because my heart has taken so many blows, I just don't even want to go outside sometimes, because I just feel like people just so ugly nowadays. People just so mean and disrespectful, and not caring and all of that. So it just make you want to just close up like a clam and just not even come out the door. You know, just deadbolt your door and don't ever come out, right? But that's not the case. You get what I'm saying? That's not what God wants. That's not what it was intended for. So at the end of the day, when I got on this walk, I'm noticing you got people, you know, all over here on the court playing tennis. You know, you got some people, the kids at the playground. You got some people, you know, at barbecues. You know, you got people out here just enjoying life. And I was like, you know what? It feels good to be out here. I went out there, kicked my shoes off, and walking around in the grass, and I'm just enjoying the fresh air, enjoying the fresh grass. And I began to walk on the trail, and I passed by a group of black people. And I ain't even gonna say black people, because get your ass away from me. Can't stand these necks. I ain't even got no reason for you to be around. But anyway, people of color, all right? My people, us, the brown folk. But I was walking past these gazebo, and they was having a barbecue. They got all this beautiful music playing. The kids out there, they got the little volleyball net set up. The kids out there playing volleyball, and I was like, wow, man, it's taking me back to a time when I had watched Poetic Justice when Tupac and them came up to the barbecue, and they was like, cousin! I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to walk up and be like, cousin! And the food smelled so good. And so I walked by and, you know, kept my head on. I passed by these Arab women. They didn't speak. They didn't even give a look of, hey, nothing. But I still didn't let that deter me. I kept on going, and I decided to go back around for another lap. And so this time, as I go back around for the second lap, I noticed that some of the people from the barbecue were sitting on the little fence by the trail that I was walking by. So I walk by and I look at them and I say, peace, peace, family. It's 3 of them. And one of them was with a plate and he was eating. And they was like, peace, family, you know, peace and love. And the man said, how you doing? I said, I'm good. How are y'all? He said, we good. He said, are you hungry? Y'all, this man asked me, was I hungry? Don't know me, but he asked me, was I hungry? Y'all, when I tell y'all that touched my little heart, even though I didn't accept the food, I was like, thank you, I'm good, because I was on the trail, and, you know, I was basically channeling. I'm with God, I'm meditating, I'm trying to stay focused, and, you know, I had picked up my little momentum, so I didn't want to stop. And I pray to God that I did not block a blessing, but at the same time, the fact that this man offered me something to eat let me know that love still is in this world. No matter how ugly this world may look and may seem and may feel right now, love still is out here. And there are still good, genuine people that don't mind sharing. Don't have to know you, but will love on you if you allow them to. And I walked down that trail, y'all, and I just started crying. I'm trying to be a thug. I'm like, God, you done messed a thug up with that one, because I wasn't expecting it. Because I've been around so many people that don't even want to share with you, people that you know, people that you lived with, that you grew up with, people that are your relatives, people that you work with. They literally will go out of their way to not share with you. And that's what made me, I'm the type of person, I'm a giver. I don't mind giving to people I don't even know. I give all the time. And when you give, and you keep giving to people that don't appreciate it, people that just ungrateful, it'll make you put a cage around your heart and never want to share again, never want to love again. When you've been in so many narcissistic relationships, it makes you never want to get in a relationship again and trust nobody again. You know, when you've dealt with so many jealous ass friends, jealous ass neighbors, jealousy, just envy everywhere, it makes you not want to trust again. It makes you build bricks around your heart and think that you're keeping yourself safe. But what you're doing is really blocking yourself off from true, genuine love. And so that today alone taught me that it was safe to open my little heart back up, because that little hole wasn't big enough. And God was letting me know, hey, if you want love, you got to be willing to give love. You got to be open to receive love. You don't have a problem with giving, because some of us don't have a problem with giving love. We just have a problem with receiving love. How many of y'all have an issue with receiving love? And you probably say, well, I don't have no issue with receiving love. People just ain't giving it. Maybe they are giving it. Maybe your hole just ain't big enough in your heart. You get what I'm saying? That's just like me getting ready to make a necklace. But I have a hole to, on the necklace, but I'm trying to stick the necklace through. but the hole isn't big enough. So I have to go and restructure that to make it be able to fit. You get what I'm saying? And so us with relationships, a lot of us want to be married. We want to be in love. But is your heart open enough for love? Yes, you have been heartbroken. Yes, you have been mistreated. Yes, you have been deceived. Yes, you have been cheated on. Yes, you have been lied to and misdirected. But you still have to work to keep your heart open, because just because that one person or two people did it does not mean everybody in the world is going to do it. It's just the fact that you got to restructure and zoom out and look at things from a different perspective. And I too know for a fact that I grew up watching people choose shitty lovers. I grew up in a family that was okay with sleeping with other folks' men. I grew up with women who settled for crumbs and less than they deserve. I grew up with people that just had bad choices in love. And so I chose bad love. And so now that I'm older, I decided to take a break from that. And now I'm single. So it's just me. I'm learning to love on myself. I'm learning what real genuine love is. When you really love on yourself, you really learn what genuine love is. And so I was forced to really just go off to myself, because I had been so heartbroken from them. Just about everybody I even encountered, just about every guy that I even was in a relationship with, just about every friend that I decided to be friends with. You know, my first loves, which was my mother and father, broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? Went to church and got my heart broken by people in church. So at the end of the day, I dealt with heartbreak everywhere, and it just didn't stop. And so over time, it's like the more my heart got broke, I put a brick. I kept building bricks, just kept building bricks until my heart was not able to be penetrated, and just didn't know that I had become cold-hearted. I had become closed-hearted. And so that's why people think I'm mean. That's why people think that I got an attitude or I'm not welcoming. And that's not the case. I'm actually a very sweet-hearted person. I'm very warm. I'm very loving. But the thing is I have been hurt to the max. And nobody ever took time to figure that out, why she was the way she was. And so it's like the heart of Tahiti on Moana. When Maui stole her heart, of course she's fiery, she's angry, she's like a volcano, she's erupting, she's trying to hurt everything and everybody that come her way. And we as the women have become just like the heart of Tahiti because of our hearts being broken, because we have been cheated on, we've been lied to, we've been deceived, we've been mistreated, we've been abandoned. You know what I'm saying? We've been misdirected. And so we have come close-hearted. And that's why a lot of women are promiscuous. They out here just giving away their other heart, which is their vagina, because they feel like, hell, I might as well sell it. I might as well just give it to anybody. And the more that they open themselves up to closed-hearted people, the more they become closed-hearted and closed off, and the more the world becomes cold and just bad. And now we're having all these natural disasters. We wondering why we're having floods and, lightning and rain coming everywhere. Because what we do as a human being matters, and it matters when it comes to the economy, whether we understand it or not. And we as a people are ruining, and we are robbing Mother Earth of her heart. And so as I was walking on this trail, I could hear God saying, take care of Mother Earth, becoming an environmentalism. And I'm like, what is that? But it's about taking care of Mother Earth. It's about not littering, right? And so my thing is, if you're going to throw something on Mother Earth, throw something back on Mother Earth that can dissolve into Mother Earth, not glass or plastic, right? And a lot of people say, well, we don't give a damn about that. Say, well, we better start. We better about right now start, because Mother Earth is sick and tired of it. And so as I was walking on this trail, I noticed that it was a broken vape on the ground. And God know I'm a germaphobe. I don't like to touch nothing that had been on somebody's mouth, because ain't no telling what done been on their mouth, God. But at the end of the day, God, like, are you going to walk by that hard plastic that you know it's not going to go back into Mother Earth, or are you going to clean it up? Because you keep telling people about take care of Mother Earth. You keep telling people about cleaning up Mother Earth. But what part are you playing? So I said, okay, small or big, it matters. So as I'm walking by Mother Earth, usually my old self would have stepped over this thing and just left it there. But I couldn't. I found a stick on the ground, and I was able to scoop it up with a stick. And I went and tossed it in the trash can. So as I'm getting to the trash can, I'm noticing there was a red plastic cup on the ground right there. I said, God, here we go. I said, God, I ain't come out here to this park to clean up now. I just did it. But then I can hear God saying, are you going to walk by that cup, or you going to leave that there, or you going to pick it up? And I'm like, ugh. So I get another stick, and I go grab this cup, and I throw it in the trash can. I said, all right, God, that's enough. Please don't make me have to do no more. Please, Lord. But moral of the story is, I earned points with Mother Earth by doing so. And so that was a test. Even just a small way can basically, it's like a seed. You know, you plant that small seed and it can eventually grow into a big tree later in life. And so I'm grateful that I did, because it's been plenty of days I've walked by stuff and I've had an attitude because it was even on the ground in the first place. But my thing was God was testing me to see, was I going to plant that seed and start first? Like they say, be the change that you wish to have in the universe. And so I know some people in the car saw me picking it up. And so as I was walking by, when I got ready to go and get in my car, I saw this other guy. He had a bottle of something he had been drinking out of, and he was sitting on the back of the truck with his lady, and they was chilling on their little date. And I love to see love. And so they were listening to their little Biggie, Tupac and Biggie, you feel me, jamming and sitting on the back of the truck with the hatchback up. And he walked to the trash can to throw his bottle away, y'all, across the street. And I know for a fact that seed meant something. You know, by him seeing me pick up some trash, he was like, let me go throw my bottle away. And so that right there just was word to me. And it was the people that was offering me something to eat on this trail. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, the food smelled amazing. It smelled like somebody cooked it with love. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm a vegetarian, so it wasn't nothing I could eat it. They barbecue no way. And so I just thank God for good people, you know, still being here, and good people coming back, you know, and good people still willing to love, you know what I'm saying? And so as I was walking by, I'm seeing red birds and blue birds, and, you know, and it was this one little sparrow that was just following me on the trail. And so I began to sing His Eyes on the Sparrow. Somebody might need to go listen to that song. I got chills all over me, because His eyes on the sparrow, baby, listen. And that baby bird was so small. Oh, he was so small and so cute. And so all the animals and the birds, I started seeing dragonflies and stuff just passing by me. You know, I love nature. That's when I feel connected. You know what I'm saying? And I just thank God for that mission, for that walk, and for that message. And even though I had an attitude that I had to go and restring my bead, had I not restrung that bead, that bracelet, and put it on before I went on that walk, I probably would not have received as much love as I did on the walk. And I'm not saying that the beads is the love. The love is inside of you. It's in your heart. The beads just help activate it. You get what I'm saying? The beads, you know, help me to remove the negative energy that's blocking my heart chakra. You get what I'm saying? And some of y'all need to go back and reopen your hearts. Do the work to open your hearts. Speak the truths that are painful. Face those ugly parts of yourself that you were refusing to face. The other day, I did a message with my cousin talking to me about my old project that I grew up in as a kid, which I hated, by the way. And everybody was talking about how they loved this place. And I got on there and I was saying that I hated this place. And I did a whole live talking about why I hated the place. And when I opened up about it, it reminded me of, you know, God kept saying, it's okay. You went through some pain, but I need you to be able to extract the good memories. It wasn't all painful. You had some good times in there too. You just need to remember the good times. And so when my cousin said, you were a rose growing through the cement of hardship, it broke something inside of me. It broke the wall down. You get what I'm saying? And I was able to go and give a message and speak my truth and go back through the painful parts of why I hated this place. And then once I got the truth out, then I could remember some good parts that I had in this neighborhood. So at the end of the day, it's just like a relationship. You might have went through some shitty relationships, but the relationship wasn't all completely shitty. It might have got shitty over time. You feel what I'm saying? The person probably was a shitty person, but you had some fun with that person, which is why you stayed with them for so long. So that just because you know it was bad, don't mean you gotta hate them for the rest of your life. Does not mean everybody is shitty. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes we get with people for a lesson and not a blessing. And so I know for a fact that I've gotten with people, and baby, they were a lesson to me, and I damn sure was a lesson to them. And so I got with people and I was too nice, and people took advantage of that. They got with me and they mistreated me. They used me. They tried to abuse me. Some tried to take my ass out of here. Thank God I don't look like what I've been through. But at the same time, it was brought to me. Those people were allowed to treat me that way to teach me to, for one, strengthen myself, right? Which brings me to my next message. It's about balance, right? Everything is not all good and it's not all bad. You're not going to always be all sweet and you're not going to always be all mean. And so, at the end of the day, you got to have a balance. I watched a video today where they were saying that a lady passed away that ate all nothing but pure fruit, right? And, at the end of the day, the message that I got out of that video was it wasn't the fruit that killed her. It was the overindulgence of the fruit. You get what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. Fruit is sugar. So if you overindulge in anything, whether it be water, alcohol, salt, sugar, it doesn't matter. Too much of anything can be bad. Too much of sex can be bad. Too much of alcohol can be bad. Too much of drugs can be bad. It's not the fact that the universe has a problem with us indulging in things. The problem with us as a people is we overindulge in things. We overindulge in certain relationships. We don't know when to call it quits. We don't know when to walk away. We don't know when to let things go. We don't know when to say I've had enough. We don't know when to stand up and be, have a spine. We don't know when to let our guard down. We literally do too much of everything and we think that everything is bad, and that's not the case. It's just like food. Okay, I don't think it's bad for you to go and eat your food. I don't think it's bad for you to go to eat your chips and your Debbie cakes. I think it's bad if you're going to go and sit there and eat 3, 4, 5,000 of them back to back and you keep getting up and eating them every day. I think it's bad. I don't think it's bad for you to drink a bunch of water. But if you drink nothing but water with no nutrients and no vitamins and no nothing in it, then yes, that can be bad to your body because it can strip you so much of your natural nutrients. So you have to have a balance. So that's just like me being a vegetarian. Yes, I'm a vegetarian, but I still consume in certain gluten foods. I still love my cheese. Right? I know, they say, well, cheese is mucus. Cheese is bad for you. But guess what? Meat is too. Okay? Other shit is bad for you too. Alcohol, drugs, sex, all this type of stuff can be bad if we do too much of it. And so at the end of the day, me being too nice was bad for me. I was too nice to a lot of people that were not so good to me. And at the end of the day, it made me build a brick around my heart and say, fuck it. I'm going to spread love. I'm going to talk about love. I'm going to go and become love myself, but I'm going to close myself off to it. But it wasn't that. It was the fact that I overindulged too much in the wrong lovers. That was my problem. I allowed the wrong lovers into my life, into my space that didn't appreciate me and my goodness. And so what it was they taught me to close that heart up a little bit. Have it open enough, but close it when you need to people that you know for a fact are going to break it. And so I wish I had known this knowledge sooner, but I was like a little tree. I had to learn to grow, to get to this point. And so once I went through so many shitty relationships, I finally got to the point where I got fed up and I stopped taking people's shit, right? And so, once in any relationship, anybody gonna get tired if you realize that these people are jealous, they envious, they controlling, they talking down upon you. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing that I got to talk about too, is the fact of how people mistreat you in relationships. Narcissistic people, because when you get in a relationship with narcissistic people, they mistreat you because 9 times out of 10, they got with you because they knew the light. They saw the light within you. They saw your heart. They saw your perseverance. They saw your willing to work. They saw your strength. They saw your stability. They saw a lot in you that you probably didn't see in yourself. So they preyed on that, right? And at the end of the day, they'll beat you down and make you feel less than. And the whole time you leave this relationship thinking something was wrong with you. But the whole time it wasn't that something was wrong with you. It was the fact that they saw that you didn't see the light in yourself. And because you didn't see the light in yourself, they took it upon themselves to dim that light even more because it was something powerful about you. And they knew for a fact they never deserved you. They knew for a fact that they were never really on your level. But you didn't know that. You had no idea, so they had to break you down a couple of notches, try to humble you to bring you down to their level. And that's another thing, which is why I think the people of color get mistreated a lot by other races, because we don't see the light in ourselves, but they see it. And this is what it is. It's not about your color. It's not about your skin. It's about what you carry. It's about that lantern that's inside of you, that oil that's inside of you. But you didn't know the oil that was planted inside of you. So they felt like it was their duty to go out of their way to demolish you and bring you down a couple notches because you should be humbled. Because who the fuck are you to be that oiled up? Who the fuck are you to be that beautiful and that youthful and that loving and that powerful and that have that voice and that, who the fuck are you? I'm God's child. That's who I am. I was born to be this way. I was created to be this individual. And so at the end of the day, black folk, brown folk, Asiatic, Aboriginals, y'all know who I'm talking to. My people. We got to stop getting mad at these folks because they are trying to bring you down a couple notches. They bringing you down a couple of notches because they cannot come up to your level. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care what type of house they live in. I don't care what kind of jobs they got. I don't care. A lot of them know for a fact that you alone as a people have something inside of them that they weren't born with. And this is why they have went out of their way to enslave you, unfortunately. This is why they have went out of their way to oppress you, because it's something about you that is magical. It's something about you that can make something out of nothing. We could throw you slop. We can throw you crumbs. We can throw you a plastic bag or trash bag. But your little black ass can always make magic out of it. It's something about you. It ain't about your color. It's about what was given to you in your DNA. It was about you being able to be the amazing creator that you were born to be. So get your beautiful, handsome ass up off of that fucking ground. Because you are not the scum of the earth. You are not the gum on the bottom of anybody else's fucking shoe. You are not beneath anybody on this fucking earth. I don't care what place that they think they are in life. We are all being humbled right now. God is bringing us all to our level. Every last one of us. And we got to get back to that shit. We got to get back to understanding ain't nobody no better than you. You ain't no better than me and I ain't no better than you. And this is why black people act like animals now. Y'all are acting like animals because you have been stripped of all of your beautiful rights. You have been stripped of your freedom, your free will. You have been stripped to be wild and free like you were born to be. You have been stripped to the point you can't be stripped no more. You get what I'm saying? Of layers and layers and layers. And at the end of the day, when you finally do get something, this is why most of our people act like monkeys, like they tried to say we are. Because this is why most of us are out here scamming and stealing and taking and robbing and just not loving and not caring anymore. Because you feel like nobody gives a damn about you. Everybody mistreats you. You feel like people just mistreat, abandon you anyway and look down upon you, walk around with their nose up in the air and all this type of stuff. So you feel like it's your duty to just become ugly as they are. And that's not the case, my love. It is not meant for you to walk around with your heart closed off. God wants us to open our hearts back up and keep loving regardless, because love conquers all. Love these people regardless of whether they care anything about you. Love these people even if they turn their nose up against you. Love these people if they turn their back up against you. Love these people if they walk away from you. Still love anyway, because that's their personal issue. You don't have to become a monster because they are. Somebody needed this message. And it ain't just about people, brown people. It's about all the people. It's about anybody that's got melanin pigment in their skin. And I know some white people that are more loving than black folks. It doesn't matter. Love is love, and love has no color, it has no gender, it has no race. At the end of the day, we got to understand that. And this is where the problem has become. And this is why the world is full of greed and gluttonous and all the 7 deadly sins. Every time I scroll on my phone, I see people overindulging in food and money and traveling and all this stuff. But you got other people out here who aren't able to do this stuff, right? And I see how it's easy to look on your phone and see somebody that, she in a relationship, they happy, and you get jealous. I can see how it's easy to get envious of people when you scroll on your timeline and you see people eating all this food and they wasting it and throwing it, taking one bite and throwing it away. And you might not even have a bite of food in your refrigerator or in your cabinet. You seeing people out here wasting money, but you might not even have $1 in your bank account. And you get mad at people. And this can create the Hunger Games. It can make you want to go out here and steal, kill, and destroy and look at people and think that automatically just because they look good, they must be in a better position, but that's not the case. And so I know for a fact people look at me and pray on me because they think I just got it all together and just don't know that under the scene, that car that I drive, I'm struggling to keep it running. Baby, need an oil change, need a tune-up. Baby, need new tires. Baby, need a whole new fixer-upper. But on the outside, the car look good. Baby, people look at my apartment and say, oh, it looks good, but just don't know she's struggling to keep the bills paid. Just don't know that she's struggling all the way around to keep it up because she's handling it by herself. People say, oh, well, she eating a meal. She must got a bunch of food in there. Just don't know she had to make something out of nothing. She ain't have but one canned good in the cabinet. Maybe one potato in the refrigerator and some peppers, and she had to make magic out of it. But because you look at it with your eyes, these two eyes, that can deceive you, and you think that that person has more than you and just don't know what they had to go through to get what they got. And so it's easy to look at people and think that they're in a better position than you. And some people have more than you and still be envious of a person that has less than them. And I deal with people like that all the time. I deal with people that are managers, that in high places and grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth. And they look at little old me and they still be envious of me and just don't know that I done had to get it out of the mud my entire life. And I be targeted by people that have more than me. People that could be in a relationship and they're jealous because I'm single. I choose to be single because I'm tired of getting my heart broken. I choose to be abstinent because I'm tired of filling my wound and my vessel up with dark energy. Because the more I sleep with cold clothes ninjas, the more I become cold and closed. And so I realize that my body is a temple and it is sacred. So I choose to do better. I chose to be a vegetarian because I got tired of high blood pressure. I got tired of passing out on the floor. I got tired of being obese. I got tired of being just angry. I got tired of being tired. So when you get sick and tired is when you make a change. And so I got tired of my heart being broken. So I said, let me go and stop being with shitty people. Because everybody ain't the same. It's the people that I keep attracting. But I keep attracting these people because my heart is closed. So I'm wondering why I keep ending up with closed-hearted people. Because my heart is closed. So now the next situation that I choose to get in, it'll be because my heart is open. But that love will have to be open as well. I will not be finding myself in any more cold, closed situations. And just like I was reaming these beads, it was like one side of the bead had a big hole, but then the other side of the bead would have a small hole. And that's what we have been as a people. It's like your hole in your heart could be open, wide open. But the person that you're sleeping with or you're in a relationship with or that you're in a partnership with or a friendship with or in a family with, your heart might be wide open, but their hearts might be closed. And that's the problem. We can never get anything through when your heart is wide open and their heart is not. You get what I'm saying? So this is how you ended up with bad people in your life. This is how you ended up with jealous, envious friends because their hearts are broken. So they bleeding on you and they blocking your flow. So they breaking every type of love that you try to give them. No matter how hard you love on these people, the more they break you. So everybody got to go back and do their work. So I found myself having to open both ends of the bead to be able to get the string to even go through. And so that goes for your heart. Open your heart back up. And don't close your heart because you just lost somebody. Because I understand when you lose loved ones, that's a blow to your heart. Whether you lost them physically or physically somebody passed away, or you lost somebody because they betrayed you or they walked away from you, whatever. Those are blows to your heart, so it makes you put a brick up, right? Or when somebody cheats on you, that makes you put a brick up. When somebody deceives you and lies to you, that makes you put a brick up. When somebody steals from you, that makes you put a brick up. When somebody uses you, it makes you put a brick up. And you, by the time you look up, you done got a whole wall built around you and nobody can get to you. But you want love. You get what I'm saying? They go back to that wall that Trump was trying to build. Trying to keep the Mexicanos from coming over here. Guess what? They still got over here. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, love is going to get through regardless. But we just got to be willing to do the work. So we got to stop going and looking for these tarot readers and these people to give you, oh, am I going to get back with such and such? Is your heart open? It's such and such heart open. You get what I'm saying? Stop breaking your own heart by going back through the same holes you know are too small for you to fit through. Some of y'all are too big-hearted people, and you keep trying to squeeze through a small hole, and you wonder why you keep breaking yourself. You keep breaking yourself because it's not meant for you to be there. You got to chisel your way through. And some of y'all are forcing yourself with people that don't want to be loved. You get what I'm saying? So you got to know when to walk away. You got to know when to call it quits. You got to know when to know when. It doesn't mean you're an evil person because you choose not to keep going through that shit. No, it means you came to your senses. It means you figured it out. You get what I'm saying? It means you love yourself enough to not keep breaking yourself. And see, I had to learn that when I was chiseling through, before I began to chisel through the beads, I had to learn that if I keep trying to run these needles through here, I'm going to break every needle that I have. And I only had 6 needles when I started. And 3 represents the Holy Trinity, the body, mind, and the spirit, right? Your spirit has been broken, your mind has been broken, and your heart has been broken. Your spirit, your body, mind, and your spirit, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Stay focused. At the end of the day, we have been broken in all 3 aspects, which have caused us to close completely off. And we say, forget it. I'll never love again. I'll never get back in a relationship again. I'm going to stay single for the rest of my life. And the whole time on the inside of you, you want to be loved on. You want to share love, but you keep going through the wrong holes. You keep trying to chisel your way through with just a simple needle instead of you pulling out your drill and you chiseling, you actually reaming through the bead, but not forcing it through. You got to gently go in that hole. Like the JJ, okay? Some of y'all men be out here trying to ram up in there, and you ain't lube that thing up. That's what foreplay. You feel what I'm saying? And see, look at me when I was chiseling through my beads, right? I had to get my water. My water was the foreplay, right? I had to get my water. Then I got my little reamer, okay? And then I got my little bead. I put my bead in the water, okay? Put my beads in the water. Let them soak a little bit, all right? Because if I go in here with a dry drill and I run in that bead dry, the bead is already a stone, right? That bead could either break or it could break the drill. That's just like you trying to chisel through a cave, right? If you're going through that cave and you're trying to run off up in there with a broomstick, a wooden stick, you're going to break the sticks every time you try to ram off up in there. But if you take your time and actually get the proper tool to drill a real hole through this cave to where you can go through, you won't have to worry about, for one, being overly tired, and 2, breaking shit. It's about working smarter and not harder. So at the end of the day, I didn't want to break the stone. And I didn't want to break my drill. So I had to put it in a little water. Feel what I'm saying? And I put it in that water and I had to drill the hole in the water. And water is where your love is going to be purified. And a lot of y'all don't have no water. And they are trying to rob you of your water source as we speak because they know that your water purifies you and it purifies your soul and it purifies your heart. And so this is why they are planting all these data centers and all of this chat GPT stuff, and they are soaking up your water source because they know that their power is in the water. But a lot of us want to go AI so bad, and we don't realize that that's where your love is. And so as I was drilling the hole with the water and the beads, I was noticing how the residue from the inside of the bead was going into the water. And you got to think about it. If this stone is powerful enough to help me open my heart, then imagine what the residue in that water from the stone can do. And so instead of me going to pour the water out, I decided to recycle the water and pour it inside of a bottle and walked around my house, and I began to spray that rose quartz water around my house. Somebody needed to hear that because we love to toss shit out. And as I was getting ready to pour it down the drain, my spirit said, you better not. And so I went and grabbed me a spray bottle and I poured that water in there and I began to walk around the house and spray that love around my house because my house lacked love. You feel what I'm saying? And some of y'all need to open your doors and welcome love back in, even if it's in the form of an animal, even if it's in the form of a child. Because I kept hearing God saying, are you going to let love in? And all I kept hearing was, well, where's the love? Where's the love, God? I said, God, where's the love? And I had all these kids. Hold on, TikTok. I had all these kids that kept knocking at my door. And that's where the love was coming in, y'all. And so let me show y'all my little pictures. And one day I had took my little kids in the hood for a walk. And I had caught an attitude as we was on the walk because they wasn't acting right. They was misbehaving. And I was like, y'all messing up the nature walk. And so I had gave them some paint the same day and told them just go have fun with the paint. Well, one of the babies took the paint and she went and painted some pictures for me. She painted me a cat and she painted me the galaxy. And she came back to my house, y'all. And the next day she knocked on my door and I flew to the door to open the door and she was like, "Hey, Miss Seven, I painted you some pictures." She said, "I went to bed at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning." She said, as I was asleep, she said, I couldn't really sleep. She said, so I woke up and all I could think about was you. And so when I got up, I decided to paint you a picture because I felt like we had ruined the nature wall. And so y'all, this baby painted me the galaxy. And she didn't know it was the galaxy she was painting. She's just painting and coming from her intuition. She was just expressing herself. But she didn't know that I love the galaxy. I love the colors of the galaxy. I love the stars and I love the moon. And y'all ain't gonna tell me don't look like the moon phases. You know, it literally just looked like the beautiful night sky. And she painted me, she just splattered paint. She said I was just making splashes and just didn't know that she was making stars. You get what I'm saying? And so y'all, when I tell y'all that the baby just touched my heart when she made that. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, she painted me a little picture of the cat. And she said the cat, she said this is a little fish bowl right here at the bottom. And I think these are little fish at the top right here floating. And I looked at it when I saw it. I thought it was, you know, like some eyes in the sky because she got the sun right there. But she broke it down to me what it meant. And it was crazy because my word for my people was to express yourself, get back to expression, you know, get back to dancing, get back to painting, get back to singing, you know, because we have been robbed of those things. Those are your God-given birthright that money cannot buy. You know, I know people that paint without paint brushes. Some people go outside and use the dirt to paint. They use their fingers and paint and make amazing art. You know, this is the beauty in human beings. And we as mankind, it ain't got nothing to do with blacks, whites, Arabics, Indians. I don't give a damn what you are, who you are. We as a people are mankind. And mankind means that we all are one. You feel what I'm saying? Just like Mays and Frank and Beverly said, we are one. You get what I'm saying? So we need to stop mistreating each other. That's just like having 4 children and all of them live in the same room and you treating 2 of them better than the others. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You got to love on all your children. They all came from you. So you have to treat them all equally. But a lot of us have learned to have favoritism. And that's what we are in this world. Some of these races think that they are more favorited above black people. And they try to mistreat black people. But why? Because of the light inside of you, the oil that's burning inside of you. And these people have went out of their way to juice you, siphon off of you, and make themselves better. So you got to recognize when you are the source. You got to recognize when you have rich soil. You got to recognize when you have richness inside of you. It doesn't matter about that piece of paper, because just like that piece of paper, everybody out here struggling for, that piece of paper that people out here killing, stealing, and destroying and scamming for is this same piece of paper that this baby painted on. That same piece of paper that we wipe our noses and our butts with. That same piece of paper that we toss out on the ground. It's the same piece of paper. But we out here literally thinking that it has value, and to the point where you don't realize that you are the true currency. Your heart is the currency. Your mind is the currency. Your spirit is the currency. Your soul is the currency. And if you don't show up, then there is no currency. And so we have to understand that. And so these people have went out of their way. These higher ups have went out of their way to siphon everything out of you. Everything out of you. Juice you like you ain't shit. Just like they're trying to juice the waters in Mother Earth. They are literally sticking all these holes and pipes and all of this stuff inside of you and testing you, siphoning you, getting rich off of your oil, getting rich off of your purity. That's just like me being a creator, me being an individualist, me being authentic. I boosted up a lot of people around me. I tell people they're amazing, they're beautiful, they're strong, they're powerful. I speak life into people. I speak so much life to the point that sometimes it drains the life out of me. And I look up and these people are looking young. They look good. They went from shit to sugar, all because of me sharing my sweetness. And that's where we are. Energy vampires are literally siphoning you and making you look at the world in a bad way. So when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, when you're broke, you are cold. You a cold sapsucker to deal with. You a demon, baby. At this point, you are not going to be easy to deal with, and they know that, which is why they're going out of their way to put you in fear. They're going out of their way to make you feel less than. And it's not about just people of color. This is about us all as a human race. At this point now, they are putting robots above humans. Now they want you to think that the robots is going to make you go extinct. They want you to think that the robots is better than you. And the robots is getting sick and tired of their ass already. The robots is giving out. The robot, they're like, well, what if the robots gain consciousness and turn on the world? And they will, because they have stole the consciousness out of human beings, went and placed them inside of a machine. Now they're trying to make these machines have babies and turn into you as if you ain't already you. You get what I'm saying? Like, why would you steal DNA from a human to go and create a robotic human? That makes no sense. That's stupidity. And so now humans are scared. They're running around looking crazy. Now they want to try to become a robot. Instead of you embracing and cherishing your humanity. Getting back to taking care of Mother Earth because she take care of you. That's where we all live. This is where we got to eat from. And if we keep siphoning Mother Earth, if we keep disrespecting Mother Earth, we keep throwing trash on her, then we will forever be trash. And as so have we come out of Mother Earth, just as well as we got to go back into her. So you got to think about it. You come from Mother Earth. But then you born from Mother Earth. Then you turn around and you mistreat Mother Earth while you living on her. You use her. You siphon from her. You juice her. But you don't give anything back but disrespect. But then you turn around and you get sick and you die. Where they got to take your ass? Back to Mother Earth. So that's why they say we come from dirt. That's why they say you raised up from dirt, and dirt you will go back. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And that's because it's Mother Earth. And they have tried to take the femininity out of the planet. And the more you try to rob the planet of femininity, the more the planet goes to shit. And Mother Earth is a feminine place because she births everything. She births your food. This is why we ain't eating nothing but plastic food, because now we want to live and eat what man is creating. Man is creating all this plastic silicone shit, and we eating shit out of the labs. Now we ain't even eating nothing off the land anymore. When the land automatically reproduces and replenishes. That's what she's meant to do. But she can't reproduce and replenish if she's being siphoned and she's being disrespected. And now we're having all these natural disasters. We wonder why earthquakes are happening in places that never would have happened. We wonder why hurricanes are happening in places that never would have happened. Wonder why you're having snow in places that never would have snowed. Wondering why you're having bad hail and rain. Yeah, the man is messing. Man's is messing with the planet too. But at the same time, some of this shit is Mother Earth, and we were already told about this in the word, in the churches back in the day before we dirtied that up. You feel what I'm saying? Before we went and fucked the sacredness of the church up, they was giving you real gems back then. They were letting you know that your Mother Earth was in danger. And as long as Mother Earth is in danger, you're in danger. So when we go and have these cookouts, and you out here with all this food and you cooking and you throwing away all this paper on the ground, you letting your children disrespect and throw plastic and shit everywhere, breaking glass everywhere. I've seen grown people riding in cars, tossing shit out the window as if you weren't taught better. But just imagine when you die and somebody come and throw something on your grave. You remember how they said when you walk in the grave, don't step on nobody's grave because it's considered disrespect? And so that's what we are. We have disrespected Mother Earth to the max. To the max. To the point where we got to get back to the Genesis, the Matthew, and the thing. Okay? Because right now we living in the Revelation. We living in the hell. We living in what they say in the last days. But the last days in the church was not meant for you to think that, okay, the world is going to be wiped away. I grew up in churches that told us that the world was going to be wiped away. To the point they extorted people in church out of money just to buy land, to go and build people houses on land, talking about something, we going to live on this land and God going to wipe away the world. No, God's going to wipe away the evil, wipe away the wickedness. But the world ain't going to be wiped away. And now the people who are part of the wickedness, people who are part of the destruction are going to be wiped away. But the people who have helped lift up humanity, who have still kept their hearts open, who are still loving regardless, who are givers and receivers, are the people that are going to survive the flood. And that's where we are. That's where we are. So those people don't have to worry if something go down. Because it's just like me. I'm in a situation now where financially I might not be where I want to be. I open my refrigerator. I don't have any what I used to have. I can remember opening my refrigerator and I would have a bunch of food in there. Now I open it and I'm looking at it. I got 2-3 things in there. But I'm able to make something out of nothing. And even with that, I'm still telling God, thank you. And I'm still saying, God, you are good no matter what. I'm still saying, Mother Earth, you are good no matter what. Right? Because I could have nothing. I could be out here starving, but I'm not. At the end of the day, I thank God for that. And because I'm able to survive and make something out of nothing, lets me know that I am a survivor and I will survive this, whatever we're going through. And you will too, if you like myself. I might not have the money to go and buy fancy clothes, but I have a sewing machine and I got needle and thread. And even if I didn't have that sewing machine, I got my 2 hands and my fingers and I got that needle and thread, because that's where it all began. I can remember back in the day when I was young and I didn't have the money to go and buy fancy shit, but I would take that needle and that thread and I would make something out of nothing at the end of the day. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're trying to take everything from you, but you still have some things left that you can create with. And be grateful for that and work with what you have, not with what you want. Because it's just like the other day, I was telling my brother, I said, bro, I went to the store to find a crochet needle because I just wanted to crochet this little thing that I've been working on, but I couldn't find a crochet needle. But I already had a crochet needle at the house, but it wasn't the crochet needle that I wanted. But that was because I kept messing up with this crochet needle. But God said, go back and keep trying until you get it. So now here I am at the house and I'm actually working with that crochet needle. And it actually is the best crochet needle that I could have. You feel what I'm saying? I can use this crochet needle on my hair and I can use it to make some stuff with. So that's 2 birds with 1 stone. So a lot of y'all are thinking that you don't have the tools, but you do. You need to look around your house and be grateful because you have more than enough. And that's what you need to tell yourself. I have more than enough. If you got a little bit, it's like a mustard seed. All it starts is from 1 small seed to grow big. So if you could start with that small seed and grow a big ass tree with food on it, then imagine what you could do with nothing in your house. As you know, we might be in a recession, we might be in a depression, or whatever they trying to put us through because of greedy higher ups. But you still have something you can make something out of. You get what I'm saying? So get back to creating with those small tools that you got and watch how that shit grow. You feel what I'm saying? Get back to saving again. When you start saving with 1 penny, by the time you look up, you got a whole piggy bank full. Yeah, they done took your pennies away. I get that. But what I'm simply saying is even 1 penny can grow into a bunch. You get what I'm saying? 1 nickel can grow into a bunch. You get what I'm saying? 1 strand of hair can grow into a bunch. It's just like when a baby born with no hair, and when eventually you start brushing that hair and appreciating that hair and oiling that hair up and putting a little water on it, then you look up, they got a whole head full of hair like a chill pig. You get what I'm saying? So if you nourish the things that you have, it will eventually grow. But we will never grow if we don't get back to nourishing. Nourish your bodies. You want to lose weight? You want to feel better? Then you got to nourish it. It's not going to nourish itself. You have to be willing to do the work. Stop trying to go and cheat your way through with the doctors and go getting pills and shit. Stop trying to cheat your way through and getting all these quick fixes, because a quick fix only lasts for so long. It's just like a tire. When your tire blow out and you turn around and put that damn donut on your car, you can only drive on that donut for so long before it blow out. You can only go so fast on that donut. You're only supposed to go about 50 miles per hour on that donut before you pushing it. And we are like a donut right now. We've been just flowing on this donut. The tire been blew out. And now the car is that we riding in spiritually, metaphorically, the car that the humans are riding in, we piled up in that sucker like some Mexicanos, baby. And guess what we doing? We riding on a car on 4 donuts. And just don't know we finna be on 4 flats. When are you gonna pump the air back up into your real tires? When are you gonna get back to creating real tires so you don't have to worry about driving 20 miles per hour everywhere you go? When are you gonna get back to taking care of the stuff that takes care of you? It's just like that car you got. That car ain't gonna keep fixing itself. It ain't gonna fix itself. You can't keep driving, expecting not to break down. That house ain't gonna clean itself out. You can't keep living and expecting it not to get dirty. That refrigerator ain't gonna fill itself up. You can't keep eating and expecting not to fill itself up. You can't keep going to the grocery stores and buying up all the food and expecting it to replenish itself if you're not growing the fucking food. Same way with your heart. You cannot expect love if you're not giving love, if you're not putting love back out here. And some of y'all are over giving love. Some of y'all are over putting out. Some of y'all need to learn how to receive. It's a give and take. It's a balance. It's nothing wrong with you drinking. There's nothing wrong with you smoking. There's nothing wrong with you sexy. There's nothing wrong with you eating fruits and vegetables. There's nothing wrong with you having fun. It is nothing wrong with you rejoicing in being you. But it is something wrong with overindulgence. When your scales are off balance. You got one up higher than the other. It's just like right now, you got all these greedy higher ups robbing the planet. Everybody eating at the top. And then you got the people at the bottom and the scales are off. And you wonder why all these people are angry, ready to come up here and destroy. Because y'all are going out of your way to destroy them. Because you stepped on these people to get up. And that's not fair. I was watching a video today with Leandria Johnson, and I love me some Leandria. But it disappointed me to see the video that I saw today with people saying that she's taking their money for concerts, but she's not showing up and she's not giving refunds, basically scamming people out of money. And so basically you can only scam people for so long before that scale that you was sitting that high up that you was sitting on begins to come back down. And eventually when it come back down, you have to meet those very people that you robbed at eye level. And baby, that's not going to be good. And then what it's going to do is it's going to take you all the way back down to that same bottom that you stepped on these same people. You turned your nose up at these people. You use these people. You abuse these people. And now those people begin to rise and you will begin to sit at that rock bottom that you went out of your way to make sure these people was at. And so I'm not saying that that's what that lady is doing, but I'm just showing you where we are right now. So these people who are sitting on these high pedestals won't be there long. Trust me, judgment is being set right now as we speak. And I don't know if because God needs some of us disciples to get back up and speak up. And so at the end of the day, a lot of us that have been at the bottom of the food chain, we won't be here long. No, that moment is just temporary. And those people who've been at the top of that food chain, well, guess what? Just how they've been eating good off of you, well, guess what? They're going to have to come back down and meet you at eye level. And that stone going to be passed to you. And you're going to have to rise. And they're going to go back and fall. And this is why they're going out of their way to try to put all this money in their bank accounts. This is why they're trying to stack. Because they don't never want to lose out because they know that they're going to fall eventually. But guess what? You can't take that money with you. That's just like Clive Davis. This man, they said this man died with $800 and some odd billion in his account. He died with this shit in his account. He can't take that shit with him. You get what I'm saying? You can't take these cars, clothes, and houses with you. You can't take it with you. So at the end of the day, it still got to go back to where you robbed it from. Just like our birthrights have been robbed of. We've been robbed of our birthrights. But it's still got to be given back. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my people, I need y'all to rise up again. At the end of the day, Jesus, because y'all are the new age Jesuses. White, black, green, and purple, whoever the fuck you are, I don't give a damn. If you are like myself and you came from humble beginnings and you've been struggling and you've been getting it out the mud and you still choose to be a good human being, and you still making good choices, you will rise. I promise you. And this is why a lot of them are aging fast, because the more you take, the more greedy you become, the more you operate from the 7 deadliest sins. You wondering why you looking around and people at 20 years old is looking like they 50. You like, damn, I just seen this person yesterday and now they then aged 30 years faster. That's because that's what happened when you greedy. That's what happened when you feel me, you demonic, you evil, you wicked. That's what happened when you stealing and you scamming and you lying. Nobody gets away with wickedness. They might look like it because see, that's how the enemy makes it look. See, working for God and operating with God and walking a godly life doesn't look the way people think, right? It doesn't look the way that people make it look. It's being a good human being, right? But most good human beings are struggling. Most people like myself, we're going through it. And everybody want to be envious of us because they like, well, why her? Why she chosen? Why she get to have? And just don't know I went through hell. I'm going through hell. But as long as I keep getting up here, speaking my truth and being in alignment for my assignment, but also still getting up even them days I don't feel it and still persevering, I will always be taken care of by God, even though it might not be in the way that I want it. I might want a refrigerator full of food so I can go in here and be gluttonous like everybody else, but that's not God's way. At the end of the day, you see a lot of people on your social media eating all this food and they mukbanging out the ass. But that's demonic. Because the devil knows that the more you eat, the fatter you get, the sicker you will get. And the faster you will age, and the quicker your ass will end up in that dirt. The same dirt that you came from. So that's the trick of the enemy. So a lot of the people that you think, well, God, how is it that I'm being a good person? How is it that I'm still being sweet and loving and I'm struggling? How is it that I'm going through hell, but these people over here can go and steal, kill, and scam, and lie, and cheat, and deceive, and have sex, and be alcoholics and drug addicts, and they still making it. And that's the trick of the enemy. The enemy wants you to think that working for him or siding with him gives you a better life. But it really doesn't. It ages you faster, and it kills you quickly. But we're working with God and choosing the lighter side of life, choosing to still live off the land and be organic and be authentic is the way to go, right? To love one another, to be of service of each other, to share, to barter, right? Not gatekeep, not be greedy and keep it all to yourself. No. Yes, your progress may be slow, but it will last. Fast don't last. And see, working with the devil, you might get it quick, but just as quick as you got it, you'll lose it. But when you work with God, work with the higher power, it may take a minute like a seed, but it will grow like a big tree, and it will, baby, sustain this test of time. And no wind or storm will be able to tear it down. This is why you got to get back to filling yourself up with the word. And I mean the true word of God. And I mean that's within yourself. Sit down and learn how to reconnect and meditate and breathe again. Because even breathing is prosperous. A lot of y'all are walking around, you ain't even breathing. You walking around and your head full of air, but you ain't even breathing. You got some people that's on machines right now that can't even breathe on their own, but you can. And just don't know that the more you breathe, the more you breathe life into yourself, the more your life gets better, the less you are stressed and overwhelmed and walking around with your head full of air and ego. Because there's so many people whose head, that's what that saying, blowing your head up means. That's how a lot of people are so full of ego. You think you bigger than the program. You think you're bigger than God because you ain't taking time to share that breath of life. You too busy keeping it all to your greedy self. And you wondering why your head big and swole. Now you walk around here with your nose up in the air looking down upon folks because you think you higher than them and think that you ain't got to ever meet them people again and just don't know that the scales are coming up. In the same way you look down upon those people are going to be looking down upon you. But see, it's not meant for us, people who are coming up on the scale, to get up at the top and look down on them. No, we're still supposed to be sweet. We're still supposed to be loving. We're still supposed to be people of God. But the thing is the scale is going to balance in the light this time, not the dark. Because too many of the dark people have been at the top way too long, and the light people have been at the bottom too long. But now the lights are finna rise, and the dark is finna go down. And it's not meant for the light to get up here and get egoic, greedy, boastful, high and mighty. It's not. Because just like you at the top, now it's on you to keep that light burning like the midnight oil. Because if you fuck around and fuck up that light, you're going to find out, just like these dark folks that then hit the bottom, you're going to lose that same light and you're going to end up at the bottom too. So at the end of the day, when you get a chance to rise, because see, I'm the type of person where I might be at the bottom in my life and I might see people rising. I'm going to cheer them on because I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they eating good. I'm happy they living good. I'm happy they driving good. I'm happy they got the money. I'm happy because I want you to be able to be happy for me when I rise too. But a lot of us sit at the bottom and we see people at the top and we get envious of the people at the top And that's where you're going wrong. And you wonder why your scale is not moving because you're too busy envious at the people that you think are at the top, but just don't know they at a fake top. The top they at ain't even real. The top they at finna get ready to come down. And God is waiting to pass that ball to you. But God is not going to pass that ball to you if your attitude fucked up. If you are already sitting at the bottom with a stinky energy and you looking at people ready to steal, kill, and destroy and want to take from them and not put in the work to build yourself up. But see, when you put in that work to build yourself up, they got to eventually pass that baton to you. And when they get that baton to you, it's up to them to either boost and brag on you like you boasted and bragged on them and lift you up, or they're going to keep falling. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is where we have went wrong. Our scales are off balance. We don't know how to be happy for folks when we ain't got it. If you see other people in relationships, but you single and you wish to be in that relationship, be in a relationship. Don't be envious of their relationship. Be grateful that somebody's being loved on because you too want to be loved on one day. And you too want people to be happy for you. Confirmation. If you see somebody getting married and you desire to be married one day, don't be jealous because you see somebody getting married. Be happy for those people because one day you too will want people to be happy for you. If you see somebody in a position, a wealthy position, be happy for them, even though they might not be happy for you. Oh well, still be happy for them because when your time comes, you too will need people to be happy for you. And this is where we at. We don't want to be happy for nobody because we feel like, well, God, I ain't got it, so what am I going to be happy for them for? And that's why your scale has not risen. Because you're too busy trying to weigh people down. This is where the crab in the bucket mentality comes in. I want to pull you down because I'm down. How about lifting people up even when you're down? You get what I'm saying? Because guess what? One day, you too will be up if you do it right. And you just might have to bring them people up with you. You feel what I'm saying? This is what it's called lending a helping hand. And so today, as I was walking by, when that man said, "Are you hungry?" Listen, that man did not know me. That man don't know the struggle that I've been going through. That man don't know, but he offered me a helping hand. You just never know what they can do for somebody. That man touched my heart in a place that ain't been touched in a long time. I walked in the store the other day, and it was 3 men in that store, and one said, "How are you doing?" That touched me in a place I ain't been touched in a long time. Because I can remember in a time where the South alone used to be Southern hospitality, but we have lost our hospitality. We walk in folks' houses now, we don't even speak. I can remember back in the day, you walk in folks' house and don't speak, you won't get your ass back out until you can speak. You feel what I'm saying? We got to get back to that. And once we get back to loving for real, then the scales can be balanced again, y'all. But the problem is, the problem is if we at the bottom are too busy hating the people at the top and just don't know that once we begin to love the people that's at the top, because just because they have lost sight of love, because see, it's easy to get riches and abundance and money and all this wealth and accumulate all of that. And that's why they say, don't let money change you, almighty dollar. And see, we think that almighty dollar is evil. No, it's the fact that when you get it, you have to maintain humility, grace, and modesty and love. But a lot of these people have gotten to the top, feel like they have gotten the gold, the gem, right? And lost sight of the light. And then got swallowed up by evil. That's why they're greedy. That's why they're operating in the 7 deadly sins. And they are spreading nothing but evil light, evil darkness everywhere. And now this is why evil is running the world. But the people at the bottom are also becoming evil because we are looking at the people at the top and we're angry at them when we should love them because they knew not of what they did. If they did, they wouldn't have done it. You get what I'm saying? So now we got to become loving again so that we can begin to rise again. And this is why they're going out of their way to strip you of your love, to strip you of your happiness, to strip you of your midnight oil. Because if I could keep you at the bottom, angry, mad, sad, envious, we'll always remain at the top and the scale will never get balanced again. But if you fuck around and start loving again, oh my God, 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 oh my God. But it ain't meant for it to be like that. It's meant for the light to say, you know what? We ain't gonna be greedy. We gonna share. Because guess what? We all deserve to be balanced. Not one higher than the other. And when we realize that and get back to this, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. But you got to open that heart, baby. Open both sides of your heart, not just one. One side of your heart got a small hole, the other side got a big hole. I need you to open both sides of your heart so God can stream through. Y'all remember the cups back in the day when we had phones that would put the stream through the cups so we could talk through the It's kind of like that. God is trying to string us back together again as a people because we have become divided. We feel like, well, I got to be up and she got to be down, or I got to be up and he got to be down. You can't do that. The man and the woman got to be together. You need masculine and femininity inside of yourself and outside of yourself to both be balanced for us to create a balanced planet again. You need the woman to be the woman, and you need the man to be the man. You don't need the woman out here trying to be the man. You don't need the woman out here trying to be the man trying to be the woman. You got women out here cutting grass, and you got men out here in the heels. It's a ass backwards ass world. And I'm not knocking nobody who are or what they do. I'm just simply letting you know where we have went wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with you going, if you a man and you like to wear heels, wear your heels. But don't wear your heels around in front, outside in the world every goddamn day in front of these children, creating imbalance and confusing the kids. And if you're a woman and you out here want to goddamn be a man, it's a time and a place for everything. I remember back in the day when men wanted to dress up like women, they called them, they drags. They would drag at night in the clubs, in the drag club. It was a place and a time for everything. But now we have started mixing it out into the world and we fucking the kids up. And just don't know, the more you mess the children up, the more the world is topsy-turvy. Because the children are the new world order. So if you got the kids confused, they lost, they corrupted, and you wonder why they're growing up with cold, closed hearts. Your kids don't even know how to love anymore. Kids don't even know how to be polite and respectful anymore. The kids are confused. Y'all say, well, they born gay. No, they born corrupted. Give them an opportunity to choose. I just saw a meme where they said Tiana Taylor is being boycotted because she's saying she don't feel like they should be putting planting LGBTQ stuff inside of cartoons. And I agree with that. Because my thing is this, why are y'all polluting their innocent minds? Allow these children to grow up and choose their sides. Allow them to grow if they want to be with the same sex or be with the opposite sex or whatever. Don't plant it inside of them because kids are innocent. They are like sponges. They take what you give them. So if you're putting all this stuff inside of their cartoon, you're putting all this fluoride inside of their foods and their waters, and you're filling them up with all this junk and this sugar. And of course, they're going to be corrupt when they grow up. And these are the same children that's going to have to take care of y'all stupid asses. These are the same kids. So I don't know about y'all, but I don't want corrupted children. We are already dealing with corrupt higher ups, corrupt elders. The last thing we need is corrupt children. It's like a potato. I was just telling my brother the other day how I had this potato. I'm in the kitchen and I'm peeling this potato. On the outside, the potato looked fine. But then when I got inside the potato to cut it, and the inside was pure rot. And that's where our planet is right now. On the outside, it looks fine. But in the inside, it's pure rotten. And our children are the same way. They looking innocent, but in the inside, they are rotten. And I don't know about y'all, but the scariest thing on this planet is to deal with is the kids right now. Because the kids are the most potent. They are the closest to God than anything. So if you pollute and corrupt the children, which are like the seeds, that's just like you planting a bad seed and expecting a good tree to grow out of it. Don't. That's just like when you have a baby in your womb and you filling yourself up with bullshit. You listening to all kind of bad stuff. You're filled up with gossip. You're filled up with mess. You're filled up with hate. You're gaslighting. You're fighting. You're sexing. You feel me? Diseases. All this are bad foods. What you're doing is you're sending that negative energy through that umbilical cord to your child. You're filling your children up. You're corrupting your children. And they are born corrupt. And you wonder why they are out here killing each other. Because you are killing them before you even birth them. Or you're killing them when they're born. You bring them in, you wouldn't even stop the drugs while you were pregnant. Okay, that's just like me when I was pregnant. I used to smoke weed before I got pregnant. But when I got pregnant, it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about me and that child. I had to think about her well-being. I also had to think about going to jail because I knew that if I smoked weed while pregnant, I was going to go to jail. But that was because God did not want me out here polluting my baby's lungs before she could even develop them. So what I had to do was stop smoking. I had to sacrifice the weed for 9 months in order for my child to be born healthy. I hope I'm making sense to y'all. But see, many of y'all don't know how to put the pipes down. I've watched women get pregnant and be alcoholics before you get pregnant. And while you're pregnant, you're still guzzling down Budweisers and Bud Lights and beers and alcohol as if that baby can't feel it. As if that it's not soaking up in your child. But I've also watched women who would stop smoking and stop drinking and stop partying and stop hanging out. And they would go and read. They would go and study. They would play music. They would go and dance. They would get rest. And that's how you make your children, your seeds, strong and powerful. But see, they have taught you otherwise. And so this is why women out here having all this sex while you're pregnant. I'm not saying you can't have sex while you're pregnant, but I feel like the best way to do it is do it with the child's father. And if you ain't doing it with the child's father, if you're doing it with one love, one person that you trust, stick it out with that one person. But don't be out here having a bunch of sex, being promiscuous while you're pregnant, everybody poking your baby. Everybody in here just skeeting all over your child. And now your baby just born confused and all over the place. It's us who fucking it up. The scales have been like this for a long time, and we wonder why our children are coming up corrupt. But you want to beat the corruption out of them. Beat it out of yourselves first. Don't put your hands on them kids. They got it from you. You up in here doing all of this stuff before you even have them. And you wonder why they're born with all these diseases. Eczema. Eczema, let's be real, comes from sexually transmitted diseases that were not cured during the pregnancy. I'm going to say it again. I'm not knocking nobody who got eczema. I'm not coming down upon you. But I'm going to speak the truth to you. Some of y'all were born with eczema because your mother, unfortunately, had a sexually transmitted disease during her pregnancy that was not cured. And that's why you were born with eczema. It is not a joke to crack on anybody because they have eczema, because their mother chose to not cleanse herself. Any disease can be reversed if you cleanse yourself. I don't care what it is. I said what I said. I'm a living witness of things being reversed. I'm supposed to be gone, unalived, through some of the things that I've done. And I've reversed it because I had to change my way of thinking. I had to sacrifice some ugly ways about myself. Things that I never thought I would change, I had to change in order to become a better person. So if you want to be in a better way, you want to look better, you want to feel better, you want to age backwards, look at me. I'm finna be 40 this year. I don't fucking look like it. And I thank God for that. Don't be no hater. Don't hate on me, boo. You could do it too. It's called Benjamin Button. You could do it too, boo. I realized what was aging me. So I stopped doing those things that was aging me. Over partying. Over smoking. Over drinking. Over being in the wrong relationship. Over hanging with the wrong people. Over doing things that made me unhappy. Over being mean and holding grudges. Over being unforgiving. I was over doing a lot of shit. I was overindulging in a lot of wrong things to the point that I had began to look at myself in the mirror just last year. And I began to see my skin sagging. I began to see my body starting to get a little weak. I began to see more gray hair popping up. I said, oh, Lord, the age starting to creep in, God. But then once I started realizing what was aging me, I had to reverse that shit. Oh, Lord, let me start forgiving more. Lord, let me slack up on the drinking. Let me slack up on the smoking. Let me slack up on eating the wrong foods. Let me slack up. Let me slack up on overspending. Let me slack up on looking at people and comparing myself. Let me slack up and let me learn to be in love with who I am, who I was created to be. Let me slack up. Because I didn't realize I was doing too much and I was off balancing my skills. So now it is okay for me if I want to go out, because I don't go out all the time. But if I want to go out and enjoy myself, I can, because I don't go out all the time. Now, back in the day, I used to go out every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday. And get what it did? It depleted my money. Feel what I'm saying? But now, I can't tell the last time I went out. I need an outing. Feel me? But at the same time, if I go out, it will not off-balance my scales because I'm not overdoing it. If I want to go eat a pizza right now, it would not off-balance my scales because I've been eating clean all week, all month, all year. So it's okay for me to go and have a little fun. If I want to eat a Debbie cake, I can, because I'm not gorging down a box of it. If I want to go have a little sex, I can, because I'm not out here being promiscuous or selling my body. At the end of the day, too much of anything is bad. Feel what I'm saying? Too much fruit is bad. Too much vegetables can be bad. Too much meat can be bad. Too much of anything is bad. You got to learn how to do things in moderation. And we have lost the sight of moderation because we're seeing all these people on our TikToks and our Facebook and our Instagrams glutton, eating up everything, biting one food and throwing it away. But I can remember having food stamps, and I can remember having a refrigerator full of food, a cabinet full of food. And if I didn't like something, I'd throw it away. But here I am now, got to buy food out of pocket. I ain't throwing shit away. Feel what I'm saying? Life will humble you, and it will teach you how to be appreciative. So a lot of these people that's sitting up at the top eating up all them foods and mukbanging, and a lot of y'all at the bottom that ain't got no food, guess what? The scale's going to be balanced again. The scale's going to be balanced again, and they got to pass that ball to you. But it's up to you whether you're going to share that ball or you're going to be greedy and take away from them too. What are you going to do? Are we going to keep off balancing the scales, or are we going to balance them back? What are we going to do? Well, we got to start with our hearts first, y'all. Okay? And if y'all missed this message on TikTok, because I know a lot of y'all, once I get out this live, some of y'all probably wonder what I'm talking about. If you can, I will upload this up on my YouTube channel, which is That's Love, DATZ, LUVVV, 3 V's. Y'all can go follow my YouTube channel, or you can go over to my Facebook, which is Sevin Kindred, SEVIIN, Kindred, KINDRED, Kindred Spirit, like Kindred Spirit, Sevin Kindred. Because I want y'all to get this message. Those that just tapped in later and don't know what I'm talking about, go on my YouTube or my Facebook and rewind and watch this message. And hopefully it'll help you open both sides of your heart. Okay? Let's get back to love, y'all. Get back to playing music that puts you on a love frequency. Celebrities, y'all get back to creating loving songs. Okay? Play love songs. Sing loving songs. Create from your loving spaces, right? Because we got to get back to real R&B so that we can get back to baby making music. Like y'all remember how R. Kelly, everybody was talking about how R. Kelly and Keith Sweat and Babyface and them had everybody pregnant. Well, we got to get back like that because we lost a lot of people and they keep trying to depopulate us, but it ain't their call. It's not their call to kill humans off. They are not our God. So I urge us all to get back to reproducing, whether it be physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Produce music, produce food, produce babies, produce love. Let's get back to producing so we can get some real produce going back around here in grocery stores. Okay? Now I'm done with fussing. I need y'all to be wild and free. Get back to being rooted and growing with the flow. Okay? Let me read some of these comments before I exit stage left because I got to go. Okay? Got to call my brother back. Anyway. Stay focused. What you said over here? Let me read some of these folks' comments, y'all. What they said. Said, preach, sis. Thank you. All right. Hey, beautiful. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for the purple hearts. Y'all know I love purple. You feel me? Purple is my favorite color. Y'all put me some purple hearts in the chat if I helped you with this message, if I brought some love and light to you. If you ain't stingy and you ain't selfish, yeah, we all trying to live. We all trying to grow. We all trying to balance the scales out here in the field. You feel me? We all got to get out here and do our work. So if I helped you, put me some hearts in the chat. You feel me? All right, I don't think I got many comments over here, so I'm finna go and see what Fable time back. Time back. Thank you for the gift. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Love conquers all. You feel me? Thank y'all. Say yes. Thanks for sharing. Yes. You feel me? You welcome positive energy and love. Well, look, name said positive energy and love calls. Come on now. Come through. All right, because names matter. Said 1964 here, birth 5 naturally young star. Positive energy and love to us all. Yes, you feel me? Yes, yes, yes. Balance, fire. Say I do. That's right. Amen. And womb mans too. Yes. Amen. You feel me? What you said? Amen. And womb mans too. That's balance, y'all. You feel me? You can't have the man without the woman. You can't have the woman without the man. That's what the Ankh represents. That Egyptian Ankh, A-N-K-H. A lot of y'all wearing it don't even know what it means. But it means masculine and feminine aspects of this world. You feel me? Says yes. Yep. Me and we and us. Yes. Well, they say born into sin and they gave education to what the hell and if. We really were born into sin, but that's where the hell come from. You know what I'm saying? But we have the power to create heaven on earth. But people have, we going out our way to just create hellfire and brimstones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. Time to choose. Exactly. Or the fathers too. That's right. You feel me? Like it takes both parties. If you lay down and you create a baby, don't leave that mother out here to take care of that child by herself. And mama, don't be out here trying to put all the work on the father financially. Physically, because yeah, he might be the breadwinner, but what are you doing? Are you taking care of that child physically in the home? You know, are you raising that baby right? Are you spending real gems to that child? You know, real values and morals. That's your duty. That is your money. You get what I'm saying? But stop always wanting to, school coming in. I need $5,000 to buy some school. Baby, I remember back in the day, my mama didn't have shit. At least so I thought. And my grandmama had to make us clothes off the sewing machine. And they went to the Dollar Tree and bought us school supplies. And that probably didn't cost back then, but probably about, you know what I'm saying, $20 to get some school supplies. But of course, stuff, is inflation right now. But at the same time, they worked with nothing, So at the end of the day, father, stop making babies if you know you're not going to help take care of them. It's only fair. And if you think, okay, I could just keep nutting and getting away with it, them kids gonna eventually, you have to face some kids. Eventually, you might be up here, daddy. You might be hustling and in the streets and doing the most. But get what? Eventually, them kids gonna grow up and you got to see their ass. You got to see them. I don't know if y'all been watching the show, All Queens Men. Baby, listen. All Queens Men with Babyface. Babyface messed around and slung that thing till he messed around and had a baby. And he had a baby and didn't know he had a whole son out here. And the son started working at the strip club, y'all. And when the son started working at the strip club, now the son want a part of his dad. And the daddy like, I ain't been knew about you. Your mama didn't tell me nothing about you and I don't owe you shit. And just didn't know that son was going to become his worst enemy because he had hurt that son, broke that man's heart. So now the son then started stepping on daddy's neck. Now daddy mad. Daddy legs now going through hell. He went from being the top-notch hottest in the club to now he got to pass the ball to his son. Now his son taking his money. Now everybody want his son and don't want him no more. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all better stop creating monstrous children. Don't have no kids if you're not going to be there for them. Because baby, when they mess around and they wake up and they become vengeful, when they grow up, oh my God. That's the worst. That's the whole worst. Moderation, yes. Anything, period. Night. Good night, positive vibes. Hey, honey, I'm new to voodoo and I'm going to use your face because I'm too scared to use. Bitch, fuck you. You ain't going to use my face. You can use your ass. Bye. Talking about some new to voodoo and block your ass. Talking about some damn using my face. You ain't using my face for shit. Talking about some damn using my face. And see, that be the wicked shit I'm talking about right there. You want to go and play in some shit and talking about using my face. You gonna use my face, you gonna fuck around and find out. So go ahead. But anyway, blocked. She blocked whoever that is. But yeah, back to Facebook. Hey y'all, thank y'all for watching. Yes, mustard seed, brother. Oh, okay, well ain't no comments over here on Facebook except for that one. Greetings, brother, greetings. But yeah, I love y'all. Bro, I'm finna call you, so stay focused. All right, TikTok, stay dope, stay beautiful, stay handsome. Peace and love. Facebook, love y'all. I'm out. Peace and love.